Act of the haunting words scrawled roughly on her hand in Tibetan script. Tibet is an independent nation. By then she knew this act of self-immolation would be her last. She left a will in an envelope alongside a picture. Written in the form of a poem, it reads, "Sons and daughters of Tibet, the darlings of Snow Lion, the brave sons of Tibet, remember you are Tibetan. My name is Sangay Dolma, 16 years old by solar calendar, 17 years old by Tibetan calendar." She became the latest of a string of young Tibetans to set fire to themselves in the name of independence when she took her life in a ball of flame on November 26th. 92 people are known to have set themselves on fire in protest against the Chinese occupation in Tibet. There were 25 in November alone. This wave of self-immolations revealed the desolation among Tibet's youth after 60 years under Beijing's thumb, and underlined a harsh crackdown in recent years by the Chinese government on any who dare question its sovereignty over the mountain nation. Until her tragic but courageous death, Sangay Dolma had been a nun at the Ganshul nunnery. She would have been well schooled in Buddhist teachings, in particular its emphasis on nonviolence, even in the face of conflict. Indeed, the first 5 precepts that all Buddhists should follow is avoid killing or harming any living thing. Her death serves as a stark reminder of the passion that fuels this phenomenon of self-immolations and the lengths people in Tibet are prepared to go in order to raise self-awareness for their plight. She goes on with the call of action for mankind to join her fight for a free Tibet. The first stanza reads, "Look up, fellow Tibetans, look at the blue twilight above. Like a heavenly tent of the white mountain, my Lama has returned." And the fourth stanza, it goes on, "Look up, Tibetans, look at the snow mountains. The snowlands era has begun, and Tibet is free and independent." In the 2 closing stanzas, she pays tribute to the Dalai Lama and the Panchen Lama, who has been missing since 1995, spirited away by the Chinese government at the age of 6, after he was officially named the reincarnation of the 10th Panchen Lama. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when he lived far away, he traveled around the world, praying for the end of suffering of the red-faced Tibetans, and released us from darkness at a time when Panchen Lama is in prison. He looks out from his prison cell, prays for the dawn of peace and happiness in my land of snow. So as the Dalai Lama said, these people are not setting themselves on fire because they were drunk or they have family problems, but because they live in constant fear. These self-immolations are not violent, nor are they acts of desperation. NGOs and academics agree that these people are experiencing a systematic cultural genocide through repression of language, ideological conditionings in schools, nomadic internment, torture and disappearance of activists, or even mild resistors, and imperialistic colonization through the influx of Han Chinese into the region, and billion-dollar investments in railroads and theme parks with the intention to strangle unique Tibetan culture. But we cannot condemn the people who gave their lives for the freedom of their brothers and sisters. We can only listen and bear witness of their final words and follow the path they have bravely lit towards freedom. Tibet is not going to let itself be crushed. With every voice, every act of civil disobedience, every song, every poem, every protest, every self-immolation, Tibet has and will continue to stand up for itself against China's oppressive rule. Their voices are echoed by the snow-capped mountains, and people from all over the world have heard their cries and their calls for freedom. 17-year-old Sangay Dolma had a dream that independence will once again be restored and peace and happiness will be regained.